Welcome to Film Flicks Recaps. Today, we are going to explain American action comedy film Bullet Train. The movie begins with Father Yuichi spending time with his son, Wataru, who is now in a coma in Tokyo. Yuichi's father, the elder, also pays a visit, but he is harsh rather than supportive, wondering where he is when his son needs him. After that, Yuichi decides it's time to exact revenge and gets his gun. Meanwhile, an American mercenary walks the city streets while talking to his handler Maria, who calls him Ladybug, and he doesn't believe he is as lucky as a ladybug. Maria gives him a straightforward task: he needs to get on the bullet train and steal a strange briefcase with a sticker on the handle. Another mercenary named Carver was supposed to handle this assignment, but he couldn't because of illness. Once at the station, Ladybug unintentionally bumps into Yuichi, causing him to drop his ticket and locker key without realizing it. Ladybug, skilled at picking locks, is, fortunately, able to open the locker and grant him access to what he had requested, but he will not carry the gun, which Maria also provided. Yuichi boards without a hitch and obeys the instructions on a note sent to him by the person who tried to kill his son, while Ladybug has to convince the conductor to let him in with just the receipt. But when he discovers a young, cute girl on the seat, Yuichi initially believes he did something wrong before she tases him. She is the prince, a young woman who commits crimes by pretending to be an innocent girl. Ladybug finds the briefcase in the luggage rack at the end of the carriage after listening to Maria's instructions through an earpiece. Meanwhile, two assassins were aboard with the code names Tangerine and Lemon, also called twins. Lemon, preoccupied with metaphors involving Thomas the Tank Engine and even carries a sheet of Thomas stickers with him, is responsible for the sticker on the briefcase, which belongs to the assassins. The son of White Death, the most dangerous mafia boss, has been kidnapped by the assassins, who aren't just here to guard the briefcase. He hired the assassins to keep his son out of trouble and return him to his father, along with a briefcase containing the ransom money some of White Death's enemies owed him. Lemon double-checks the rack after receiving regular calls from Tangerine's handler to ensure everything is okay but finds the briefcase has vanished. Ladybug has already exited to another carriage and is preparing to exit the train at the next station when he discovers that a mercenary with blood spilled over him has blocked the door. Yuichi awakens, at last, to see Prince has rigged his gun. She also has a goon in the medical facility, so if Yuichi kills her, his son also perishes. Back to Lemon, he isn't concerned because he believes that bringing the son back alive is the most crucial aspect of the mission, so Tangerine explains the entire White Death narrative to him to make him understand. A man by the name of Minagishi once controlled the criminal underworld in Japan. He was renowned for both his brutality and loyalty. A former Russian mafia member eventually joined Minagishi's clan and rose through the ranks to the position of advisor. The other advisors didn't trust him and tried to warn Minagishi, however, he chose not to heed them, ultimately leading to his demise. The White Death, a Russian man, formed his gang and killed Minagishi and his men in a single night. Although he hasn't left his compound since his wife died in a car accident, he is now considered a soulless psychotic killer in charge of the world's largest criminal organization. He wanted the experts who worked on the infamous Bolivia job, so he hired the brothers rather than traveling to get his son. The briefcase must be recovered immediately, but when the siblings return to the son to explain the change in plans, they learn that the son has been killed and is bleeding from his eyes. Prince knows Yuichi works for the White Death, and he delivered a briefcase to one of White Death's associates 2 days ago, which is when she saw her opportunity. If she followed the briefcase, she could find the White Death. Prince desires Yuichi to kill White Death for her, hence his presence here. The man who blocked Ladybug is the wolf. His wife and all of the guests passed away from whatever poisoned their drinks, leaving them with bleeding eyes weeks ago on the day of his wedding, and this delay in drinking saved his life. Wolf learned that the perpetrator of those who killed his wife was on the train and came to exact revenge. Both assassins get into a heated argument that spills into the train's bar. Wolf manages to stab Ladybug, but his phone takes the blow instead. Wolf throws his knife at Ladybug, but because the briefcase shields Ladybug, the knife bounces and stabs Wolf instead. Before retrieving the briefcase, the brothers clean up the son and put some amusing glasses over his face as the train approaches a new stop. Lemon watches over a door to make sure no passengers leave without being checked, and Ladybug recognizes Lemon as the man who once attempted to kill him while on a mission. Ladybug rushes through the other carriages because he can't use this exit, bumping into the train's mascot, who tries to grab the briefcase from him. The train has already left when Ladybug attempts to run to the next exit after punching the cute face of the train. After that, Ladybug leaves the bar, hides the briefcase, and uses Wolf's phone to call Maria, who verifies the information. The goal of the wedding assassination was to kill Wolf's boss, and everyone else perished as well because they are connected to him. Ladybug had infiltrated that wedding as a waiter and accidentally caused Wolf to spill his glass, but he hadn't been responsible for the deaths. Ladybug hides the briefcase in the luggage rack after observing Tangerine searching for the briefcase while trying to decide what to do next. Tangerine doesn't recognize him from that previous mission and continues walking even though he sees him. When Tangerine runs into Prince and Yuichi later, Prince gives him Ladybug's description of the briefcase after she saw him run by earlier. In the meantime, Lemon returns to his seat and gets a text from his brother with the description just as Ladybug sits across from him. Ladybug offers a deal: if they don't kill him, he'll give them the briefcase back. Ladybug doesn't want to mess with dangerous people. Lemon would be happy to accept, but he doesn't want to act nice after Ladybug killed someone. Ladybug believes he's referring to Wolf, but Lemon is talking about the sun. Lemon refers to Ladybug as his diesel and starts to fight him, but Ladybug manages to knock Lemon out before he can draw his gun. Then he puts sleeping powder in Lemon's water bottle, conceals the weapon in the luggage rack, and finds Sun's body, which has the same bleeding eyes as the victims of Wolf's wedding. Meanwhile, Tangerine returns to the carriage. Ladybug steals Lemon's phone and flees as he calls Maria to inform her that someone else on the train beside him and the siblings are working because it can't be a coincidence that Wolf's family and the son were killed in the same way. While conversing, Ladybug tries to close the door between the luggage carries, which prompts him to unintentionally open a cage containing a snake known as the boomslang that someone recently stole from the zoo. The snake's poison brings on the son's bleeding symptoms. Tangerine continues looking for Ladybug after discovering Lemon unresponsive on his seat and realizes he should have left the train by now. Ladybug is now attempting to flee from the conductor. Ladybug approaches the passenger and offers him money to change clothes, knowing Tangerine is after him. By the time Tangerine arrives, he accidentally approaches the passenger, allowing Ladybug to flee. At the bar, Prince and Yuichi search for the briefcase. When they are finally hidden, Yuichi receives a call from the elder, which Prince forces him to put on speaker in the bathroom. Yuichi responds that he is here to exact revenge when the elder asks him why he left the hospital, and Prince commands him to be honest. The elder is disappointed to hear this, but Prince forces Yuichi to hang up before he can respond. Before leaving the carriage, Prince orders Yuichi to remain inside the bathroom, trying every combination until he opens the briefcase. She also throws Yuichi's phone out to cut down on further interruptions. Returning to Tangerine, he visits his brother's side once more and awakens Lemon, who doubts Ladybug's involvement in Sun's death. Tangerine receives calls from those who hired them, telling them to get off at the next stop with the sun and briefcase instead of continuing to Kyoto. Yakuza gangsters are waiting for them, but the siblings already know it's a trap and has devised a strategy. Tangerine exits alone and informs the henchman that he is a professional who does not fall for cheap tricks, so Lemon remains inside, guarding the briefcase and the sun. He is now waving through the window as Lemon guides his movements like a puppet. The henchmen believe them, allowing Tangerine to return to train unharmed. As a result, the brothers must now divide and search each end of the train separately for Ladybug. Tangerine gives Lemon his gun as additional security before departing. When she sees that the son is dead, Prince comes to check on him after they have left and spits in his face. She then returns to the restroom, where Yuichi has just about finished opening the briefcase. Prince, however, isn't interested in the money. Instead, she wants to smuggle a bomb inside so that it will kill him when White Death opens it. She informs him that whenever someone attempted to kill White Death, he killed them with their own weapons. She used the exact mechanism to rig Yuichi's gun. Meanwhile, Ladybug is hiding in another bathroom. At the same time, Maria explains how a famous surgeon who operated on gangsters was killed in the middle of a procedure by the same eye-bleeding poison. The assassin's name is Hornet, and Ladybug must find them and hand them over to the siblings to save his own life. Someone knocks on the bathroom door, and Ladybug goes to take it but finds Tangerine and uses the tracking app to locate Ladybug in the bathroom. Another fight begins, and both assassins trade blows until Tangerine needs to answer a phone call from White Death's henchman. This time, he's told to get off at the next station with the briefcase, or everyone on the train will die. Tangerine is at a loss for what to do, but Ladybug devises a strategy. Since the gangsters have no idea who Lemon is, Ladybug will pose as him. The guys get off at the next station with a random briefcase they stole, but their plan backfires when it accidentally opens, revealing that it isn't the one with the money. Fortunately, before White Death's henchmen can apprehend them, Ladybug and Tangerine dash back inside just as the train departs again. While drinking his water, Lemon is still looking for Ladybug, and he runs into Yuichi and Prince, who plays the innocent girl card once more when asked about a suspicious man with a case. On the other hand, Lemon does not believe her because she mentions not seeing a briefcase, and he never used that word, implying she is his diesel. Lemon shoots Yuichi and then hides the body in the bathroom to force them to talk. She ties up the doorknob before leaving to prevent anyone from escaping. Ladybug tells Tangerine where he hid the briefcase and tries to get off at the next stop. However, Tangerine refuses because he still needs a fall guy. Ladybug kicks Tangerine off the train just as it takes off again, but this isn't enough. Tangerine runs after the train and jumps on its tail, then breaks a window to get back inside. Meanwhile, Ladybug switches carriages and discovers Yuichi's phone when it rings. The elder calls Ladybug to check on his son, but she hangs up after telling him to use the tracking app. After finding the rigged briefcase exactly where he left it, he returns to the bar and examines Wolf's body again for clues. He finds an envelope and finds out that Wolf came to kill Hornet, who has been hiding inside the mascot costume all along and was responsible for the death of the son. She also managed to enter the wedding by posing as the pastry chef. On the other hand, Hornet finds Ladybug approaching him after stealing the uniform from a trolley employee. Horny starts a new fight by explaining that she was promised the money from the briefcase before stabbing Ladybug with a poison needle. Ladybug grabs the needle and stabs her in return, prompting Hornet to take out the antidote in the hopes of curing herself. Nevertheless, Ladybug takes it for himself and abandons her to her death. Tangerine discovers the bathroom with the tied doorknob and opens it to discover his brother's body. He removes his necklace and wraps it around Lemon's neck before taking the gun from Yuichi's grip, ready to exact revenge. He then calls White Death and tells him to meet him at the end of the Kyoto line because he needs to stop being a coward. He isn't afraid of the train exploding because he can't kill all of the passengers. But, White Death reveals that he knows only the mercenaries are left inside and that all the civilians have already gotten off because he purchased all the tickets himself. Tangerine comes across Prince after White Death hangs up, who pretends to be an innocent girl again and cries while making up some story. Tangerine initially believes her, but when Prince turns around, Tangerine notices a sticker of the character Diesel that Lemon placed on her back before he was shot. Tangerine realizes Prince has always been the bad guy and attempts to shoot her, but Ladybug arrives and believes Prince's fake tears, so he jumps on Tangerine to stop him. Tangerine is killed when the gun is accidentally released during the fight. Ladybug promises to protect the girl as the train approaches the next station. Because Prince needs to get to the end of the line, she pretends her bag is stuck and begs Ladybug not to leave her alone because she's scared, and Ladybug misses his chance to escape again. The elder also gets on the train by following the tracking app. He recognizes Prince's voice from when she interrupted his call with Yuichi and sits across from them as soon as he walks by. Ladybug tries to take the gun that Prince claims she discovered lying around, only to be bitten by the snake. Panicking, he rushes to the bathroom to flush the snake, but he survives because the antidote is still effective. Meanwhile, the elder grabs Prince's bag and realizes she's the one who pushed his grandson off the roof, so Prince explains she needed Yuichi's help killing the White Death, which was the only way to get him on the train. She tries to make it appear that both Yuichi and his son are dead, but the elder isn't fooled. He left a bodyguard at the hospital, and he's already killed Prince's henchman. When she realizes she no longer has the upper hand, Prince rushes to another carriage, while Ladybug returns to sit with the elder, who decides to share his story. The elder promised to provide for his family no matter what when he was young, which is why he became an important member of Minagishi's crime family. He was one of the advisors who had warned Minagishi about the White Death, but Minagishi ignored him, and he had only survived because fate wanted him to. When the elder returned home, he discovered his wife dead and the house destroyed, with Yuichi as the sole survivor. After that, he hid and focused on finding a way to exact revenge without endangering his son, but White Death remained elusive. The elder, on the other hand, believes fate has placed White Death in his path by directing him to the train. The men agree to collaborate and go to the bathroom, where they discover Yuichi is fine because the bullet did not hit any organs, and Lemon is also fine because his bulletproof vest caught Prince's shots. When he discovers the necklace around his neck, his mood changes. Lemon goes after Ladybug and Yuichi after saying his goodbyes to Tangerine's body. The elder stops him, reminding him that if they are to survive the White Death, they must work together. The train arrives in Kyoto moments later, where the White Death awaits with his army of assassins. Ladybug appears with the briefcase, intending to buy the team sometime, and the henchmen apprehend him before arguing over who gets to open the briefcase and inspect its contents. Meanwhile, the White Death boards the train and meets Prince, who turns out to be the White Death's daughter. He had always wanted a boy, which is why she was given that nickname, which she despised. She also despised her younger brother for attracting all of their father's attention as the heir despite being a worthless loser. Prince has built her career as a mercenary on nothing, and now she's here to show her father who she truly is. White Death takes the rigged gun from her as she expected, but he doesn't kill her, claiming he's always seen her, but she's never been part of his plan. While Lemon investigates the control room and tries to figure out how it works, White Death goes to check on the status of the briefcase and confirms Ladybug's theory. He hired all of the assassins on the train and expected them to kill each other. It was all part of White Death's plan to exact revenge on his wife. The siblings' Bolivia mission had consisted of killing a large group of White Death's crew, so he had to travel there to take care of it while leaving his wife alone. It should have been him in the car that night because it wasn't an accident, it was an assassination attempt on his life. She might have survived if the surgeon had been available, but Hornet had already killed him with the snake's venom. The son was brought here by mistake because he had gotten into trouble again, and his wife had gotten in the car to help him. Ladybug was brought here by mistake because White Death had wanted Carver because he had been the mercenary who had killed his wife. Yuichi and the Elder begin fighting the gangsters looking for others, and Lemon is finally able to restart the train. Ladybug, White Death, and more of his crew are thrown into the train before it takes off, and they now join the fight. The Elder fights the White Death hand to hand. Meanwhile, Ladybug arrives at the control room and attempts to assist Lemon in finding the brakes while fighting the henchmen pursuing them. Elder nearly loses to the White Death, but Yuichi comes to his rescue and knocks White Death back by tossing a water bottle in his face. This allows the Elder to finish him off with his sword. At the control room, Lemon sacrifices for Ladybug to push the last gangster off the train, falling into the water with him. Ladybug tries to force the brakes by cutting some wires, which causes the train to derail and crash into downtown Kyoto. The Elder and Yuichi save themselves by clinging to a seat, and Ladybug survives by landing on the soft mascot costume. When they get off the train, they discover White Death is still alive, but he falls for the Prince's rig gun and dies anyway. The trio believes they can leave now, but Prince appears next, ready to claim the name of White Death, only to be run over by a truck loaded with tangerines. Ladybug notices a fancy car arrive after Yuichi and the Elder have left and is surprised to learn that Maria has come to pick him up. Unfortunately, she is struck by Ladybug's bad luck right away, and her car is destroyed by a falling light post. The movie ends with Lemon swimming out of the river and running down the road when he notices the tangerine truck and thinks it is a signal. As retaliation for stealing the truck, he used it to murder Prince. Tell us what you like most about this film in the comment section. Also, don't forget to comment, like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. See you at the next one.